Hi there, guys, and welcome to the latest episode of the Cryptoverse. The Cryptoverse is your regular dose for news and commentary on Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchains. My name is Chris Coney. I'm the host of the Cryptoverse and the founder of cryptoversity.com, which is the online school where you set the price to learn about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchains. You can find out more at cryptoversity.com. If you go to the podcast page, you can subscribe on whichever your favorite channel is, anywhere from iTunes to Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, or Steam It. And to support the Cryptoverse, please click through to Steam It, vote for this episode on the Steam network, or make a contribution directly to support the Cryptoverse in Bitcoin by using the address on that page. So, before we begin the episode today, yesterday and the day before, the weekend, today's a Monday, it's Monday the 15th of August. So Saturday and Sunday saw the first ever patrons only episodes of the Cryptoverse. It was kind of funny because I uploaded the weekend special bonus weekend episodes of the Cryptoverse to cryptoversity.com in the members area, accessible only to Cryptoversity patrons, and then I uploaded basically a promo on YouTube on the podcast to say, look, 5 days a week the Cryptoverse is free, 2 days a week I have to give patrons something in exchange for their support, and that's what we're going to do. Anyway, someone commented on the YouTube video saying, "Oh, have you labeled the wrong video?" Which surprised me because it didn't sound like they'd actually watched the video and see what it said. So I thought I'd mention that on today's episode to make sure that everyone's clear on what that is about. So if you go to yesterday or the day before's episode of the Cryptoverse, just play it. It's a 52-second clip that explains why the Cryptoverse is now 5 days a week. It's free. 2 days a week. It's exclusive, those 2 bonus episodes for patrons. Normally a podcast is only 5 days a week, so the 2 bonus episodes are bonus episodes, and it means I have to do work on the weekend to give something back to university patrons, because they are the ones that are paying the money to support the Cryptoverse to allow the free version to exist. So they've got to get something in return. Anyway, so this Monday episode is a free one today, so let's do this. Market roundup. Bitcoin's shaved 2% yesterday, which is quite a lot for Bitcoin. And when I look at the price chart, we'll see that we've tickled a new low. Well, not a new low, a new recent low anyway. Ethereum Classic down 3.9%. That puts an Ethereum Core, second most capitalized coin, down 3.9%. That makes an Ethereum Core token worth $11.22. And the overall blockchain worth 931 million. What else have we got here? Steam holding steady, pretty much the same price it was yesterday. Ethereum Classic up 2%. Okay. Anybody else? Anything interesting? Yeah, we're around 1, 2, 3% up or down for everybody here. Scenario's lost 5%. Factom's gained 5%. Factom's now the 15th most capitalized coin. It's kind of leapfrogged Scenario there. Waves is down 18th position. It shaved 4.25% in the last 24 hours. There was a lot of hype about that when they did a crowdfund. Again, it's probably the old thing that they haven't officially launched yet, perhaps. Let's verify that, shall we? You know, you could call me a journalist, I guess. Journalism should be about verifying and falsifying facts. So if I speculate on something, immediately I'll try and falsify it or verify it, or invite you guys to provide me with some sources that can verify or falsify it. So I've just gone to the wavesplatform.com, which is the Waves website. It's changed a lot since I looked at it during the crowdfund. And what I'm looking at to see if the project is actually launched yet. Let's see. So it's got download now from the Chrome store or download the source from GitHub. So I assume at least it's in alpha or beta. Otherwise it wouldn't allow you to download anything. Very interesting. Well, this is a lot better website than it was. The Lite client, is available as a Google Chrome plugin. Is that right? Well, let's click on this. Let me go through the process live with you. So what we got here, add to Chrome in the Google Chrome store. Would I like to add this app? Yes, I would. And let's see what happens when I do that. Okay. So it adds a Waves Lite app to my Chrome. And then when I click on it, it actually brings up a separate window, which is like it almost reminds me of an Adobe Air type app. It says failed connecting to Waves. and there's a progress bar going along the top. It's almost got to the end, and now it has got to the end, and it's stuck. So that was literally me never having rehearsed that before, doing it for the first time. So that didn't work for some reason. So let's close that. I'll maybe have to look into that later. But for now, that didn't work straight off the top. However, it does look like Waves is launched in some form. So if you want to check that out, go to wavesplatform.com. The only reason I mentioned that is because of all the hype surrounding the crowdfund, and now it's still tickling 20th position nearly. It's still in the top 20 though, and it's one above BitShares. All right then, so let's look at one of my favorite numbers here. Bitcoin maintains its dominance at 79.7% of all cryptocurrency market cap. The overall Cryptoverse is worth 11.3 billion, down from 13.5 billion only about a month ago. And that's from memory, don't quote me on that. Let's take a look at the Bitcoin price chart. There's a reasonably large candlestick from yesterday. There was a low yesterday of 556 it went down to, but then it closed at 568. And today it's reasonably low. It's down the bottom end of yesterday's range at $569, which is a shame. It looks like a bit of downward cyclicity, but we'll see about that. I'm speculating that there's a downtrend. I was hoping that we would break 600 to go back into an uptrend, but you know, I always say, and anyone who comments on price charts, they always say, "Wait, we'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see." Whereas if you want to trade, you can't do it based on "I'll wait and see," because by the time you've waited and seen, the trading opportunity has passed. So you need a trading system if you're going to do that, and you don't wait and see. You wait until a pattern appears, and then you trade it. You know, one way or another, you put the trade on. And then sometimes it wins, sometimes it loses, and you want to win more than you lose, and that's how you make money from trading. So that's it in a nutshell. So I was just excusing myself from for saying let's wait and see. All right, in the news, this article's from Saturday, is it? Yesterday was the 14th. Yeah, Saturday. I wanted to read this out on Saturday, but there were so many good articles over the weekend, I had to pick just a couple to put into the Cryptoverse. But I think this one's incredibly interesting. It comes from Bitcoin.com News, and William Suberg is the author of this. So if you want to check out the original article, the sources are always in the description of the YouTube video or on Steemit, so you can check that out. So the article's title, it says, Polls, Iceland's pro-Bitcoin pirate party to take power. And of course, that really got my attention. The image is of a railing, and there's a pirate party banner. It's purple with a big black P in a white circle and a black border around the circle. And underneath it says party with an I, pirate, which I assume is Icelandic language for pirate party. So this is kind of funny. You know, the Pirate Bay, and pirates are, as long as they're not evil, right? They're kind of funny. That's why we like Pirates of the Caribbean and stuff like that, right? Because pirates are kind of endearing in a way. Anyway, let's not go into that. So here goes the article. Iceland's pro-Bitcoin pirate party is set to have a role in the country's next government in October, polls suggest, looking to gain around 25% of the national vote. That's a lot. For what I would call a fringe party, you know, you wouldn't think that people are radical enough to go outside their comfort zone and vote for such a radical, not radical party, but radical by mainstream standards. So Iceland pirates, well prepared for government. The party, whose parliamentary group leader Birgitta Jónsdóttir said she would make the country a Switzerland of bits if it came to power. And now it has a shot of governments, says experts. It's gradually dawning on us what's happening, Birgitta says, who's the leader of the Pirate Party's parliamentary group. She told the UK newspaper The Guardian, "It's strange and very exciting, but we are all well prepared now." A move to the left in Iceland has been several years in the making. So I'm assuming that means a move to left-wing politics. The article goes on, however, the recent Panama Papers scandal damaged now resigned Prime Minister David Gunglesson, so much so that snap elections were called. These will be held in October, with this lady Brigitte sensing radical change is in the air. Okay, that wasn't me. That word radical is in the article. Don't shoot the messenger. It is radical from, like I said, but because the mainstream political parties are so narrow, right? It doesn't take much for something to be considered radical. Even on the grand scale of things, it's not radical. So I'll qualify that way. So here's a quote. I look at us and I think we are equipped to do this, she added. Actually, the fact we haven't done it before and that we won't have any old school people telling us how means we'll do it more carefully. We will be doing things very carefully. Close quote. Iceland's Pirate Party specifically seeks to effect structural change through the use of technology. It already has 3 seats in the country's parliament, and in October will post a candidate in every political constituency. Wow, now that's significant. I'm so sorry, I can't pronounce this lady's surname. It's being quoted in the article. It's Jónsdóttir. Jónsdóttir. I don't know how Icelandic language is pronounced, so I'm just going to call her, I guess it's Bridget, but the Icelandic version, Brigitte. So I'm going to call her that. Brigitte says, I am not the leader. Brigitte has even stated that ideologically she is not, quote, the leader, advocating leadership as a less centralized circle of power. How interesting. Now that is congruent with one's values if I ever saw it. She's not willing to be called a leader because, fundamentally, I guess if they're for decentralization, that would be in conflict. Now, there is a conflict in the sense that at the moment, she's having to participate in a centralized political system in order to gain power for her party. Not her party, but you know what I mean, the one she's part of. So that's a necessary transition. You have to participate like we all do. We're still, the vast majority of us, apart from Amanda B. Johnson maybe, is participating somewhat in the fiat economy as a transitionary. I mean, I've got my feet in both of them. I'm doing some crypto and some fiat. And whenever the opportunity arises, I transition my behavior from fiat into the crypto world, right? But it's just impractical, especially running a business. It's impractical to do certain things like that. But the moment I get the opportunity and it is practical, I'll do it, right? And it's only a matter of time before I do that. But I am committed and I have the will, right? Anyway, so back to Brigitte. So yeah, she said, look, advocating leadership is just a less centralized circle of power. There's a tweet of hers that's embedded into the article, and it was posted on the 10th of August. And she says, say it with me. I am not the leader. Why is it so hard to understand that we operate within the circle of power? How interesting. Oh, and then the article she's shared is from, it's actually, I think it's in Icelandic language. Additionally, it seeks to overhaul freedom of information. Brigitte's collusion with Julian Assange on the Switzerland's of bits concept speaks volumes about the nature of transparency, which would be sought by a pirate majority government. Even if, this is a quote now, even if they don't have clear policies in many areas, people are genuinely drawn to their principles of transforming democracy and improving transparency. That's University of Iceland political scientist Heide Onudottir. I see there's another Icelandic name. Onudottir, who commented on the current status quo. I mean, it's a good job I'm not a professional newscaster on a mainstream network, but I guess that's why you guys listen to me, because I'm not part of some massive corporate conglomerate that has to be word perfect. I hope that's why you listen anyway. So back to the article. However, with a projected vote tally of 20 to 25%, that the party could see itself enter into a coalition with the establishment. Something which it says it's open to doing, but the feeling may not be mutual. Yes. Here's a quote. their success will depend on what they can really deliver, how much they make of their first term. Who's this? Who's saying that? That was the second name I couldn't pronounce. Oh, this is the University of Iceland scientist saying that. From a financial perspective, the shame surrounding Iceland's bank's role in the 2008 financial crisis, together with the tax revelations of its current government unearthed by Panama, suggests pirate policy will be swift. Iceland is currently one of only a handful of countries which have banned Bitcoin outright. Excuse me, let me read that again. Iceland is currently one of only a handful of countries which have banned Bitcoin outright. Okay. Its central bank stating that, quote, it is prohibited to engage in foreign exchange trading with the electronic currency Bitcoin according to the Icelandic Foreign Exchange Act. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness me. Can't believe that. I can't believe it because it's true. But jeeps, that's bad boy. And you think, like, because of all of the Bitcoin mining in Iceland, hey, that's interesting. How the hell did they do that then? Given that thought, there's a lot of Bitcoin mining goes on in Iceland because of geothermal cooling and this and that. So how do they get rid of it? If they want to sell that Bitcoin and pay their electricity bill, how do they do it? They can't, because it's against the law, according to this. If they sell their mined Bitcoin for their fiat currency, that violates the Icelandic Foreign Exchange Act. So what are the Icelandic miners doing? Well, I probably know what they're doing. This is what I would do. I would mine the Bitcoin, send it to another country over the Bitcoin network, like America, then trade it for dollars, then exchange that for Icelandic currency, and then pay my electricity bill. I guess that's a roundabout way of doing it, and there's a lot of fees involved in that chain, but it's the legal way of doing it, I assume. So there we go. Wow. There was something else I wanted to comment on here. Yeah. It says, the second to last paragraph says, from a financial perspective, the shame, what the hell's that? The shame surrounding Iceland's bank's role in the 2008 financial crisis. Excuse me. I think that's unfair. I think that's wholly unfair. Yes, there was this mortgage crisis that really smacked the UK quite hard in terms of savings and mortgages. However, wasn't Iceland one of the only countries in the world to actually impose some penalties, some legal criminal penalties on their bankers? I think that's true. And I learned that from Max Kaiser. There we go. Earlier in the episode, I was making a big deal about verifying and falsifying information. So I paused the recording real quick to find an article that backs up what I was just saying. This is an article on Bloomberg.com that was published in the 31st of March 2016, and the title is, This is Where Bad Bankers Go to Prison. Iceland is the only nation that puts top finance executives behind bars after the 2008 crisis. Still fears of crony capitalism remain. Right? And then it goes on to say, so-and-so a prison in Western Ireland, don't need walls or razor wire, blah, blah, blah. This is where the world's only bank chiefs imprisoned in connection with the 2008 financial crisis are serving their sentences. Let me read that again. This is where the world's only bank chiefs imprisoned in connection with the 2008 financial crisis are serving their sentences. So that was my justification for clicking back to the article, where it says in the Bitcoin.com article, from a financial perspective, the shame surrounding Iceland's bank's role in the 2008 crisis. I think that phrase is wholly unfair. Okay, every central bank and banking system in the world should have some shame for their role in the 2008 financial crisis, but at least Iceland convicted some of them. Nowhere else in the world did they. So I think that exonerates them from some shame, to be honest. Everyone else should be ashamed of themselves that they didn't impose any penalties. So that's obviously upset me. That's wholly unfair. So it says, like, they spent these prisoners, they spent their days doing laundry, working out in the jailhouse gym, and browsing the internet. I hope they weren't trading foreign exchange. Blah, 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 yeah, whatever. The article's reasonably long. It's a strange colour scheme on this site. Oh, geez. The article's quite long. Then came the fall of 2008. Oh, it's quite in-depth, this article, so if you want to read it, I'll put it in the sources for this episode. And is this a picture of him? I know that's Special Prosecutor Olaf Huxon. Wow. Yeah, I'm not going to cover the whole article because it's quite long, but that just proves my point anyway. All right then, so in conclusion, the Pirate Party of Iceland may gain power. They may not necessarily be the ruling party, it may be a coalition government, but at least they will have some say. In addition to that, I'm going to go on again about one of my core principles, which is one of the criticisms of these non-mainstream parties, let's call them fringe parties, is one of the criticisms that people have of them is they don't have fully fleshed out policies in every area of government, right? Okay, that might be true, okay? However, what's more important to me, I bet you can guess this by now if you've been listening to me for a little while, is what's the principle, what's the paradigm, what's the mindset that's governing all the decisions? And if, in the case of this Island Pirate Party, it's things like transparency, use of technology for decentralization and consensus and democracy of decision making, things like this, then fine, right? As long as that is the fundamental root paradigm where everything is going to spring from, that's what you should vote for. Not the specific detail of this policy or that policy, because the more detailed level you're talking about, the more radical or the more regular the changes. So the best analogy I can give you is the sea. So if you think about the sea, if you took a cross section of the sea and looked at it sideways, not down below so you see the top of the waves, look at it sideways so you could see the bottom of the ocean and you could see the waves on the top. And you've got this granularity right from the very top where the waves are crashing and there's all this change. And the deeper you go, the calmer the water gets, until you get right down to the seabed where it's whisper quiet and whisper still. That is the same as having a core principle that never changes, right? So whatever it's based on, so the specific policies and all the little details are like on the surface of the water, they change all the time. And that's the problem people have with politicians, is if you vote for one of those waves on the top and then they change their mind, or because they change because of environmental factors, like the weather, in this case, if they change their mind from some sort of environmental factor, they appear to be incongruent, right? They might not be incongruent, it just might be you don't understand the fundamental principles that they're operating on. And they're not explaining how they're still holding true to those principles and explaining why the reason they've changed one of the details is because of an environmental factor, right? And that goes a long way. People understanding the reasons behind your decision is key, which is why I believe everyone needs a personal mission statement, every company needs a mission statement, and then every decision, every move that they make should be in alignment with that. That's how you gain trust, right? So, coming back to the Pirate Party then, that is why I would not be too worried that they don't have all the policies fleshed out. As long as they've got their core mission fleshed out, they'll work the details out based on those principles. And as long as I believe in those principles, and as long as they stick to them when they make these more micro level decisions, everything's going to be all right. So that's today's philosophical lesson, and that is the end of today's episode of the Cryptoverse. This has been your regular dose of news and commentary on Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchains. I would like to thank you for listening today. On cryptoversity.com, you can go to the podcast page. Subscribe on any of your favorite platforms, including iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, YouTube, or Steemit. And please click through to Steemit, vote for this episode on the Steemit network to support us financially, or send us some Bitcoin via the address on the podcast page. And before you go, make sure you check out the main site, cryptoversity.com, which is the online school where you set the price to learn about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchains. My name is Chris Coney. I've been your host today. Thank you for listening. I'll see you tomorrow. And until then, it's bye for now.